Canton or Cumming, which one is actually the better move? Because on paper, these two suburbs can look pretty similar. Both are growing fast, both attract families, both give you more space than a lot of the closer in suburbs around Atlanta. But once you really break them down, they are not the same. One has a stronger school-driven, polished, overall package. The other gives you a little bit more breathing room, more character, and more of that I'm not living on top of my neighbors feeling. So today I'm putting Canton and Cumming head-to-head across 8 categories, giving out points in each one, and by the end, we will have a winner. My name's Joel. I'm a local realtor here in Metro Atlanta. Let's get into it. Let's start with what these two places actually feel like day to day, because this is where they separate pretty quickly. If you want elbow room, Canton has a real case here. There's still a lot of open land up here. It's not unusual to see horses, cows, even alpaca. That tells you a lot about the feel of this place. You can still find areas where it still feels like there's actual breathing room between houses, and that's a big part of Canton's appeal. Now that's changing. A lot of people are moving into Cherokee County, and Canton is absolutely part of that growth wave. But for right now, if you want more space, more land, and less of that packed in suburban feel, Canton is stronger here. Cumming is more versatile, and that's probably the best word for it. If you're in South Cumming, it can feel way denser and much more like an extension of Alpharetta. More rooftops, more shopping, more commercial development, more activity. But once you're further north, it opens up pretty fast. Bigger lots, more spacing, even some farmland still hanging on. Highway 400 really does act like a slider. The further north you go, the more open it tends to feel. So if you want more space overall, Canton has the stronger identity. But if you want more flexibility depending on where you land, Cumming is going to give you more options. So point is going to go to Cumming. Now let's talk money, because these two are not priced the same, and the gap is big enough that it changes who should even be looking at each one. According to current median home prices, Canton comes in at around $514,000, and that's one of the biggest reasons people keep ending up here. It's still easier to buy into, especially if you want more house, more lot, or just more breathing room for the money. So by the numbers, Canton still has a stronger value case. Cumming is closer to $578,000, and buyers want to know that that extra money is buying you something. A lot of what it's buying is the Forsyth County package. Stronger schools, newer housing in a lot of the areas, Northside Forsyth Hospital, suburban convenience, and more connection to that Georgia 400 corridor if you're commuting into the city. So Cumming costs more, but it's also offering a more polished all-around package. So this is not a tiny difference. The gap is real, and for a lot of buyers, it will matter. If budget is a major factor, then Canton gets the edge here. Point goes to Canton. This is one of the biggest reasons Cumming costs more, and if schools are one of your top priorities, this category matters a lot. I'm going to throw the full school breakdown up on the screen here, so if you want to pause and take a look at it, but the short version is this. According to rating sites like niche.com and greatschools.org, Canton has solid school options, especially places like Creekview and Sequoia, so this is not a weak school market by any means. For most families, Canton school options are going to be certainly more than enough. Cumming, though, comes in stronger overall. Looking at those same third-party school ratings, Cumming just has more top-end school firepower. South Forsyth, Denmark, West Forsyth are a big part of why buyers are willing to pay more there. Even the more middle-of-the-pack schools in Cumming tend to hold up well compared to a lot of the rest of the metro. So according to the ratings, Canton is solid. Cumming's just a lot stronger. And if schools are one of your top filters, that difference is going to matter. So point's going to go to Cumming. Now, let's talk downtown, because even if you're not going out every weekend, the city's downtown tells you a lot about its personality. Let's just be honest, old downtown Cumming is not the draw. If that was the whole story, this category would be over very fast. But that's not the whole story anymore. Cumming City Center changed the whole conversation. Now you've got the event lawn, the restaurants, the boutiques, the stage, mini golf, and an actual gathering space that gives the city a center of gravity. And they're still adding to it, which matters. So while it may not have that classic historic downtown feel, it absolutely has a stronger social center than definitely it used to. Canton's downtown has been changing, but what gives Canton the edge for me is that it feels a little bit more organic. It still doesn't have the biggest downtown in the metro or anything like that, but it's gotten much cooler over the last few years. More restaurants, more activity, more events, and then right across the street, you've got the Mill on Etowah, which is one of the coolest reuse projects anywhere around North Atlanta. The whole downtown and mill combination gives Canton a strong local identity and a very cool place to hang out. Cumming fixed a weakness and is really trying. Canton still feels cooler, so point goes to Canton. This one really depends on what kind of access matters most to you. Cumming is more plugged into the northeast growth area. If you're on the south side, you're basically Alpharetta, and the Georgia 400 corridor is also right there. That's a big deal. Better access to jobs, development, shopping, and all the momentum happening on that side of the metro. Then north of Cumming, you've got easy access to Dawsonville, Dahlonega. Lake Lanier is just to the east. So Cumming feels more tied into metro growth and sort of that east side machine that's going right now. Canton can feel a little bit more removed, but definitely not isolated. Highway 140 gets you into Alpharetta and Roswell better than people a lot of times expect. And north of Canton, you're moving into Ball Ground, Jasper, LJ, Blue Ridge, that whole North Georgia direction of travel. So if you like mountain towns, orchards, wineries, hiking, and that more removed feel, Canton is positioned really well for that, while still having surprising access to a lot of the other metro. So this really comes down to what kind of access matters most. Cumming is better tied to the metro growth. Canton is better tied to North Georgia. For overall convenience, I'm giving this one to Cumming. Point goes over there. And by the way, if you're trying to figure out which of these suburbs actually fits your budget and lifestyle best, reach out anytime. I help people relocate to Metro Atlanta all the time, and I'd be happy to help you narrow it down. This one is actually pretty simple. Canton has Northside Cherokee, and that is a huge win for Cherokee County. It's modern, convenient, and if you live in Canton or Holly Springs, you are very close to quality care. Cumming has Northside Forsyth, which is a major hospital and one of the big anchors of the area. It's a big part of why buyers feel comfortable living that far north. Both cities have strong local hospital access. Both are part of the same system, and both are real strengths. I'm not going to force a winner here. This one is a tie, half point each. Now let's talk lifestyle, because once you leave the house, what are you actually going to do? Canton has a really nice blend of outdoor recreation and a kind of a growing local energy, I guess. You've got Blankets Creek, Etowah River Park, Heritage Park, nearby access to Lake Allatoona, and then downtown plus the Mill gives you enough restaurants and events that it doesn't really feel sleepy anymore. Canton feels like a place where the lifestyle is getting better pretty fast, but it still feels local, if you know what I mean. Cumming has strong outdoor access too, just in maybe a little bit different flavor. Lake Lanier is the big headline. You've got Fowler Park, the Greenway, Sawney Mountain, there's City Center, and a lot more kind of future-facing development still coming. So Cumming feels like a city that's still growing into itself, and if some of those larger future developments hit the way people hope that they do, the amenity level could jump a lot in the next few years. If you want something that feels more established and locally cool right now, Canton gets the edge. If you want future upside and more of that east side of the city momentum, Cumming has a case, but for right now, I'm giving this one to Canton. As always, I'm not personally declaring one city safe and another unsafe. I'm going off third-party data. I'll put the Neighborhood Scout heat maps up on the screen as well as a visual reference, but I'm basing the comparison on the city level numbers. According to Neighborhood Scout, your chance of becoming a victim of crime in Canton is about 1 in 107. So by their data, Canton is not throwing up major red flags here. It's more middle of the road overall, but compared to similarly sized cities, it still holds up pretty well. Cumming comes in stronger at around 1 in 237, so by the same data, Cumming has lower overall crime odds and tends to compare more favorably on a citywide basis. So this is not a night and day difference, and it doesn't mean every part of either city feels exactly the same, but if we're just going off those third-party numbers, then Cumming gets the edge here. Point goes to Cumming. Let's total it up. Canton gets home prices downtown and things to do. That's 3 points. Cumming gets space and feel, schools, location, and safety. That is 4 points. Healthcare is a tie, so that is a half point each. That gives Canton a 3.5 and a Cumming 4.5. So by the numbers, Cumming wins. But here's the more important part. If priorities are stronger schools, a little bit more polish, more connection to the Georgia 400 corridor, and maybe a more complete all-around package, then Cumming is probably going to be the better move. If your priorities are more value for the money, more space, a cooler downtown, and easier access to North Georgia, maybe that more open, small town-ish side of life, then Canton might actually be the better fit. And that's really the point of these comparison videos. The winner on paper is not always the winner for you. If you want help figuring that out, reach out anytime in any way that feels good. And if you're still in research mode, then just keep watching some more videos. I'll see you in the next one.